A very good evening to you and welcome to the news. I'm Ebere Ugunna. In the news tonight, 15 persons receive ownership documents under Anambra State City Cap scheme. Security agencies intensify plans ahead of tomorrow's presidential and National Assembly elections. Nigeria Immigration Service warns foreigners against voting tomorrow. On the foreign scene tonight, United Nations says it needs $920 million to cater for Rohingya refugees in 2019. In all details of the news, transport company of Anambra State Trackers has handed over vehicle particulars and change of ownership documents of taxi cabs to not fewer than 15 beneficiaries of the Anambra State City Cab scheme. The managing director of Trackers, Dr. Ifeoma Madukasi, who performed the function at the company's premises in Awka, stressed that it is part of Governor Willie Obiano's empowerment initiative in sustaining economic growth. Correspondent A.G. Kebana report is taken from our studios.
Scheme launched by the governor in 2014 with 200 fleets of Nissan Almericas had a public-private partnership arrangement between the state government and two commercial banks. The beneficiaries are the first said to have completely liquidated the empowerment loan. According to Dr. Madukasi, the company has the objective to create a better, cleaner transportation system in the state, thereby providing jobs and empowering the youths of Anambra to own a new car for the purpose of making a living. The Trackers boss, who explained that in December 2017, government of Anambra State paid off the commercial banks such that the beneficiaries will have the liberty to gradually liquidate the empowerment loan, pointed out that the scheme is still ongoing and called on the public to go to Trackers for further inquiry and clarifications.
The real Madilini say Akuzugo and Uguafana if Ejinwaya, Lutona Governor Putagona Kandi, Sobu, and Melody Moto. On Kefazi, so only Kuzu and Nia, watching out. Ochokwai cannot look in our control, Leka, the Madigali, Isipana, and Cabro, or cannot. Mana, otherwise, Bulumoti, if I chose his name or name, Mana, the bottom line, Bonasia, Owilia, when in yellow, we are Kayan and Dibia. Still ongoing. No, I told you people, the governor said his New Year gift for the Anambra, Christmas stroke New Year. And now he told us to extend it for the next 2 months. It's still on.
Some of the beneficiaries, including Mr. Patrick Chukwuma and Dr. Patrick Eneme, who represented his wife, thanked God that they pulled through despite some challenges encountered, while expressing optimism that the scheme will help address the transport challenges of the Anambra.
Few challenges once you are determined to do whatever you want to do. Although the challenges are bound, like at times we encounter all these cows on the road. But at the end of the day, it all works out good. At least it's putting food on my table. Not only putting food on my table, and I swear it put food on other people's table through my own helping hand.
Because I started it as a civil servant. And I retired. Without the benefit I got from this very, I think I'll be a menace for the society. I'm very happy. In fact, I would like to continue with them. If they want to give me out of I will sign.
Formal presentation of documents featured at the brief ceremony.
State government has insisted that an earlier circular suspending all chieftaincy and town union elections in the state still stands. According to a joint statement signed by the Commissioner for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Community Affairs, Chief Greg Obi, and the Special Advisor to the Governor on Chieftaincy and Community Affairs, Barrister Vera Queen Okonkwo, a group of people in Alo Town, Idemili South Local Government area, have concluded arrangements to flout the directive and conduct town union executive elections, and must be reminded that the directive of the state government still stands and that government will decisively deal with those who intentionally decide to flout the law in order to maintain law, order and peace in the state. As Nigerians go out to polls in less than 12 hours, officers and men of the Nigerian police have been charged to apply professionalism as they carry out their election duty. The supervising officer, Southeast Geopolitical Zone, DIG Anthony Ogibisi, gave the charge while briefing police area commanders and other high-ranking officers in Anambra Police Command of the state headquarters, Amobia. Queen Anibogo has report.
Tasked them on the need to ensure that INEC materials and personnel are adequately protected, saying the police cannot afford to fail the society at this critical period. The DIG also advised the police officers to ensure that they work in synergy and harmoniously with sister agencies to ensure adequate security during the elections.
Please work harmoniously with sister agencies that are united supporters. The issue of this complex or this problem of security, please, should not arise. Work in synergy, work harmoniously.
Earlier, the Anambra Commissioner of Police, Mr. Mustafa Dandaura, while calling on DIG Obizi to speak to the area commanders on their roles during the election, assured that Anambra Police Command is ever ready to take on any challenge that will come up with the elections.
I want to use this video again to inform you that the command right now has made adequate arrangement for the conduct of this incoming election. We assure you that no stone will be unturned.
Meanwhile, Supervising Officer Southeast Geopolitical Zone, DIG Anthony Obizi, has told stakeholders in the forthcoming elections that the police will provide a level playing ground for all the parties involved in the elections. He stated this during a stakeholder forum at the State Command, Amobia. While allaying their fear over the fire incidents at the State INEC headquarters, the DIG noted that the incidents notwithstanding, the elections will hold, assuring that the police will provide adequate security to forestall recurrence. Responding, one of the stakeholders and Apuga National Chairman, Sheikh Victor Oye, thanked the police for provision of security in previous elections in Anambra, appealing for its sustenance. Other stakeholders who spoke during the meeting include APC representative, retired Commissioner of Police, Aranya Ibe, PRO of IPAC, Comrade Chijoke Onyekongu. DIG Obizi also visited State INEC headquarters to get first-hand information on the fire incidents, which destroyed over 4,000 card readers and sensitive materials at the place. From Amobia, Queen Anibogo, ABS News.
Federal Road Safety Corps, Anambra State, has been charged to face the task of general election with utmost dedication, honesty, care, and commitment devoid of partisanship before, during, and after the election. The Corps Marshal of Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, Dr. Boboye Oyeyemi, gave the charge during a one-day training for all participating FRSC staff in the 2019 general election. Correspondent Ogochukwu Okeke's report is taken from our studios.
The event, which attracted road safety members within the state, had its theme as towards ensuring a successful 2019 general elections, FRSC roles and responsibilities. Speaking on the roles of FRSC during election, Dr. Oyeyemi, who spoke through the State Sector Commander, FRSC, Corps Commander Andrew Kumapai, said that FRSC works with relevant stakeholders to ensure that whatever safety and security threats that could hamper smooth conduct of the elections are nipped in the bud through adequate measures, advising them to work hard to overcome the challenges.
In furtherance of the commitment of the FRSC to provide necessary security and logistics support to the Independent National Electoral Commission in the forthcoming general elections to enable it to conduct free, fair, and credible elections that can meet both local and international expectations. All hands must therefore be on deck to ensure that FRSC is well prepared to face its task and does not disappoint the nation in its contribution to the success of its national assignment.
Delivering a lecture titled Expectations of FRSC in Elections, the State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Dr. Nkwachukwu Oji, who expressed their preparedness for the election, regretted the fire incident that occurred on Tuesday at the INEC headquarters in Oka, which destroyed about 4,689 smart card readers, assuring this will not affect the elections in the state.
If we do that, we have a total of 1,112 single units split out of 4,608. We call those split units voting points. So when you go out on Saturday, you'll be hearing all sorts of jargon. Voting point, polling units. Basically, these are places where people cast their vote. And some of you will be responsible for taking charge of security in these places.
In their separate remarks, the State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Mustafa Dandara, represented by Operations Officer CSP Odumia Williams, the Director Department of State Security, Mr. Yusuf Ishako, represented by Barrister Joseph Okechi, and Deputy Corps Commander FRSC, Mrs. Uche Chukura, spoke on risks and threat assessment for 2019 elections, security challenges during elections, as well as roles and responsibility of the Corps in 2019 election, and advocated that all security agencies synergize throughout the elections.
The Comptroller of Federal Immigration Service, Anambra State Command, Mrs. Miriam Audu, has warned non-Nigerians residing in the state against participating in the general elections. Mrs. Audu gave the warning during the stakeholder sensitization meeting with non-Nigerians towards the 2019 general elections held at the command's headquarters in Awka. We have details.
She maintained that any foreigner caught meddling in the forthcoming elections will be tried, and if convicted will have to finish his jail term before being deported to his country. The controller recognized that though Nigeria is a signatory to the ECOWAS Protocol on Free Movement and Right of Establishment, the command encourages foreign associations in the state to ensure their members document their stay with immigration offices in their areas and to respect culture of their host communities.
No, for sure, we agree that you are here, you are free to come here, stay here, reside here, do your businesses, but in the right way that you are supposed to do. There are rules and regulations that you have to follow. We call you here to advise and to warn equally that all foreigners should stay away from this election that is coming.
Reacting to the warnings of the controller, some leaders of ECOWAS nationals at the meeting, such as Ella Suleiman from Niger, Mugri Walters from Cameroon, and Abolagon Seth from Togo, promised to further advise their compatriots not to be part of the elections in the state.
I tell them for this side, the way I want to do election, everybody make stay for some house. Make you no go anywhere, make stay for house. Any leader, any house man Niger, why I see for that place, my hand no dey inside. Because I tell them, everybody I tell them.
So on Sunday, I just told them, we are foreigners, as we know. We have no business with Nigerian election. Those who are not coming to our meetings, then we don't know what to do with them. But those who are gathered with us, they are all sensitized about this very issue very well.
We told them, and as our mother said, we are going to continue to let them know. And that day, I don't think that they will go out. Anyone go out or anyone try to make it where they arrest him, it does not concern us.
The event also featured documentation of illegal immigrants.
And away from that, as tomorrow's presidential and National Assembly polls close up in minutes, the State Directorate of the National Orientation Agency has intensified their voter education drive. This time, they visited the Columbia Central Park to sensitize members on the dangers of violence, vote buying, and ways to avoid invalid votes. David Okwakwasili of our ABS tells us more.
That is the State Director, National Orientation Agency, Barrister Charles Nwoji, educating the members of the park on how to fold the ballot papers to avoid smudging and ensure the integrity and secrecy of the ballot papers. Speaking, Barrister Nwoji underlined the effects of the dangerous trend of vote buying, selling, and all forms of violence to good and accountable governance. On Tuesday's fire incidents at the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC State Headquarters in Awka, the NUA boss reassured that INEC will deliver a credible poll tomorrow and on March 2.
We are, will I say, at the peak now, visiting informal places now. We had to come and see the people in their places of business. That is the motor park. The traders participated in this elimination of invalid and void votes. 1. 2. Reduction of the incidents of violence during elections, and then thirdly, vote buying and selling. These 3 issues have been a source of worry to Nigerians.
Earlier, the chairman of the Ekulobe Central Park, Mr. Anthony Okonkwo, while welcoming the sensitization team, assured that the desired result will be achieved.
Personally, I make a kind of promise to you people that the outcome of this program I have to put you in practice. 1. Whatever you anywhere I say that the most part now this I got to put into practice.
At the event, representatives of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Mr. Emeka Ikenwude, and for the Department of State Security, Mr. Lloyd Ohalete, took turns to assure on security arrangements that will engender violence-free elections. During the questions and answer session, members of the park, Mr. Nnamdi Ikwunne and Chief Moses Okafor, raised concerns over the lateness of INEC officials to polling booths, saying that if the issues are addressed, people's trust on the system will be restored. From Ekulobia, Agwata local government area, this is David Okwase reporting for ABS News.
Moving on, in line with the desire to elect quality representatives at the polls, the other Ziani Development Advocate, ADA Ada, has organized a campaign against vote buying. The walk kick-started at Amuku Adazi and went through Community High School down to Eke Adazi Market and terminated at Ojako Memorial Grammar School, Adaziani. Correspondent Chibuzo Obidike has a detailed report.
Sensitize community youths, women groups, community leaders on the dangers of vote buying and selling. The campaigners who carry placards with various inscriptions like "Your vote is your right," "No vote buying," "No to political thuggery," "No to negligence of the voice of the masses," among others, expressed displeasure over the trend of vote buying, which, according to them, will leave the masses with sufferings for another 4 years of political dispensation. The organizer of the program, Mr. Austin Okoye, revealed that the aim is to pass a message across to politicians that gone are the era sharing bags of rice and tokens in exchange for 4 years of quality representation, which has crippled development in the area.
We understand that there is need for our educational system here in Adaziani to be looked into. That's why we decided to help catalyze the education by organizing a group of people that are both indigenous and not indigenous of Adaziani, especially those with the voters card. We want to use the opportunity also to tell the political aspirants our intention of coming out in mass to vote for any political party.
In their various remarks at the different areas of the community, the principal of Community High School Adaziani, Lady Edith Mojeke, the chairperson of Eke Market Adaziani, Mrs. Alice Mojeku, and the principal of Ojaka Memorial Grammar School Adaziani, Mrs. Joy Izuka, represented by acting vice principal administration, Mrs. Rose Mbano, recounted the various promises made by politicians in the past, which currently have left their various institutions and markets in very deplorable conditions.
Water tank. Since inception of this school, and when periodic borehole in our school, the renovation of all members the building. About the other side, never a capacity. Wind here, I get Tatashalia. My door, I get Tatashalifa. So I'm making it. Unonine. Dina to Patalala. Where's it? I have Mayor, no possible Katata.
A problem is many. One of the problems is fence. We need fence in this school. Students come into the school anytime as they like because there is no fence. Our ICT lab, we need equipment. Please, we are begging you to help us so that
that this school will look like other schools.
Some stakeholders in the community, including Dr. Emeka Okeke, Dr. Dubem Onyejiaka, and the President General of Adaziani, Engineer John Eyisi, all expressed delight with the initiative by the youth for a practical solution, saying that the move will entrench sustainable development.
I'm really proud to be a citizen of Adaziani and to be a youth and to be around in an age where young people can come together and say enough is enough. You know, they have seen 2,000 naira, they have seen bags of rice, but they've come to realize it doesn't last 4 years, it doesn't last a lifetime. And they are demanding, give us good health facilities, give us good educational systems, and we will fend for ourselves. So I'm really proud for what it is that's going on. I'm happy to be part of it.
Because onye fama abụ ihe onye ndị politician ga na-enwezi ego ha wee gụmụfa na elu gbasara ịtụnye aka na politics. Ọ bụrụ na ndị ada tinye uchu gbasara ego akwụkwọ were ma primary were ma secondary, otu ọgwa ka anyị chọọ na gbado anya n'ego akwụkwọ dịgodo ọ ga-enye aka imepe obodo Adaziani na mgbe ndị ọzọ dị akụkọ.
From Adaziani, Chibuzo Obidike, ABS News.
Well, moving on to the foreign scene, the United Nations aid agencies and NGO partners have said they need $920 million this year to support more than 900,000 Rohingya refugees who fled their homes in Myanmar in the wake of a brutal military crackdown in 2017 and are now living in sprawling camps in Bangladesh. More than half the money is earmarked for critical aid, including food, water, sanitation, and shelter. The remainder will go toward health services, site management, and protection activities, including child protection. The fund will also be used to support at least 330,000 vulnerable Bangladeshis in host communities. The United Nations High Commission for Refugees and International Organization for Migration said in a joint statement on Friday. More than 745,000 Rohingya refugees have fled Myanmar's Rakhine state since August 2017, when the military cracked down on the minority Muslim group. They joined about 200,000 others who had already sought safety around Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh during earlier outbreaks of violence. And that's it on the news tonight. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by logging onto our website, www.absradiotv.com. Like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/ABS Radio Television. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. And just before we go tonight, a quick reminder of our top stories. 15 persons have received ownership documents on the Anambra State City Cab scheme. Security agencies in the state have intensified plans ahead of tomorrow's presidential and National Assembly elections. Nigeria Immigration Service has warned foreigners against voting tomorrow. On the foreign scene, we brought to you that United Nations has said it needs $920 million to cater for Rohingya refugees in 2019. And that's the size of our package tonight. Many thanks for joining the bulletin. I'm Iberi Ugunna.